Welcome to our FedTalks executive video series. We're here with MK Palmore, Director at Google Cloud. MK, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So the question I'd like to ask you today is, where have you seen cloud services making the biggest impact in helping federal agencies make faster or more valuable use of their data recently?
So now's an exciting time to be involved in cloud and cloud adoption. We're seeing federal agencies and many organizations along the public sector landscape look to cloud for a variety of enhancements to their current infrastructure and technology outlay. When you think about cloud adoption, I think public sector organizations are oftentimes aided in terms of their digital innovation efforts when they think about cloud in the context of what kind of assets or increased capabilities will I get from looking at and potentially adopting cloud. And so we're seeing a couple of things. One, the increase in data that federal organizations are collecting on behalf of their own organizations are now in a position to take this data in, provide analysis around it, and then turn it into an asset for their stakeholders and users. A way of enhancing the types of resources that they provide to their stakeholders and users. Secondly, data collection in a potential cloud environment can oftentimes offer enhancements to cybersecurity capabilities for federal organizations. And so with the advent, the agility, the ability to ingest large streams of data and then provide analysis around it, what they get when they look to cloud adoption is they get an enhancement of their cybersecurity capabilities. And so there are a number of trends pushing organizations towards this effort of adopting cloud, not the least of which is the executive order directing federal organizations to look to cloud adoption for the future. But there are several leading infrastructure, technology, and security enhancements that come along with this kind of adoption.
And then the other question for you is, how do you see federal agencies shifting their IT investment priorities heading into the new fiscal year based on your conversations with them?
So, one of the challenges for federal organizations when it comes to fiscal, the identification of their need for fiscal enhancements and budgets, is that they oftentimes look to get big swings under their belt. Cloud adoption is a long-term evolution, I think, for public sector organizations. And so when you begin to prioritize and look at cloud adoption as part of your innovation efforts that may occur over the course of several years, you can then think about different phases of a project that you may be able to implement over the course of a multi-year engagement in terms of innovation and cloud adoption. And so I think federal organizations should be looking at it as a phased approach where you can prioritize the workloads, assets, and digital processes that you'd like to think about moving to the cloud in a year-by-year type of advancement. If you prioritize it and you think about your most critical digital systems, whether or not you want to alleviate the reliance on long-term legacy infrastructure, you then begin to sort of piecemeal this out and break it up into something that's much more digestible instead of an organization going to their budgetary folks asking for a large sum of money in order to accomplish something that may take multiple years in order to accomplish.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, MK Palmore, thank you so much for stopping by here and sharing some of your observations and insights with us here at FedTalks.
Thanks for having me.